1. Asteroid impact. Imagine looking up at the night sky and seeing a bright object moving faster and faster toward Earth. At first, it may look like a shooting star, but in reality, it could be an asteroid, a massive piece of rock and metal left over from the birth of our solar system. Most asteroids stay far away in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, but sometimes one changes its path and heads straight toward us. Asteroids might look harmless from a distance, but their power is terrifying. Even a small one, just a few hundred meters wide, could flatten an entire city. A larger one, like the one scientists believe killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, could wipe out almost every living creature on Earth. When that asteroid hit, it created a crater more than 100 miles wide and released an explosion stronger than billions of nuclear bombs. Imagine the shockwave, the walls of fire, and the massive earthquakes that followed. But the real danger comes after the impact. The collision would throw so much dust and smoke into the air that sunlight could be blocked for months, or even years. Without sunlight, plants would not grow, animals would starve, and food chains would collapse. The world could fall into a freezing darkness known as an impact winter. Scientists are constantly watching the skies for any asteroid that could be on a collision course with Earth. NASA even has missions to test ways of pushing asteroids off their path. But despite all this, the truth is, if a giant asteroid came with little warning, we might not have the time or technology to stop it. That is why asteroid impacts remain one of the most serious threats to the future of our planet. Supervolcano eruption. Deep under the surface of our planet, there are massive chambers filled with molten rock called magma. Normally, volcanoes release this magma little by little through eruptions. But sometimes, the Earth stores up an unimaginable amount of pressure, and when it finally explodes, it's not just a volcano, it's a supervolcano. A supervolcano is far more powerful than anything we've seen in human history. Instead of lava simply flowing down a mountain, the explosion could cover entire continents in ash. To understand how big this is, imagine a regular volcanic eruption and then multiply it by thousands. That's the destructive power we're talking about. One of the most famous supervolcanoes on Earth lies under Yellowstone National Park in the United States. Scientists say if it ever erupted again, the effects would be catastrophic. The blast would send ash miles high into the sky, blocking sunlight across much of the world. Crops would fail, temperatures would drop, and millions of people would be left without food. Airplanes would be unable to fly because of the ash clouds, and breathing the air itself could become dangerous. History gives us warnings. Around 74,000 years ago, the Toba supervolcano in Indonesia erupted, and some scientists believe it almost wiped out early humans. The population may have dropped so low that survival itself became uncertain. If such an eruption happened in our modern world, with billions of people relying on global trade and farming, the damage could be beyond imagination. Supervolcanoes remind us that Earth itself holds enough power to challenge our survival. And the truth is, there's no way to stop such an eruption if it were to happen. The most we can do is study them, watch them closely, and hope they stay quiet. 3. Nuclear war. When people think about the end of the world, one of the first fears that comes to mind is nuclear war. Unlike asteroids or supervolcanoes, this is not a natural disaster. It is a danger created by humans themselves. Nuclear weapons are some of the most destructive tools ever made, and the scary part is that there are thousands of them stored around the world today. A single nuclear bomb can destroy an entire city in seconds. The blast would flatten buildings, the heat would burn everything in its path, and the radiation would poison survivors for years to come. Now imagine not just one bomb, but hundreds or even thousands being launched in a large-scale conflict between nations. The destruction would be beyond anything we can truly picture. But the danger does not stop with the explosions. If a major nuclear war broke out, the smoke and ash from the burning cities would rise high into the atmosphere and spread around the globe. This would block sunlight, lower temperatures, and create what scientists call a nuclear winter. In this frozen, dark world, crops would fail, food would run out, and billions of people could starve. History has already given us warnings. During the Cold War, the world came close to nuclear conflict several times, but somehow managed to step back at the last moment. Even today, Tensions between powerful nations remind us that the threat has never fully gone away. Nuclear war is perhaps the most tragic way Earth could be destroyed, because it would be the result of human choices. Unlike asteroids or volcanoes, this is something we actually have the power to prevent. Yet, as long as these weapons exist, humanity will always live under the shadow of its own creation. 4. Climate collapse. Right now, one of the biggest threats to Earth isn't hiding deep in space or under the ground. It's happening all around us. Climate change, if left unchecked, has the power to slowly push our planet toward collapse. Unlike sudden disasters, this danger builds up little by little, year after year, until it becomes impossible to ignore. The Earth's climate is like a delicate balance. Too much heat, and ice begins to melt, seas rise, and weather turns extreme. We are already seeing stronger hurricanes, longer droughts, and record-breaking heat waves. If this trend continues, entire regions could become unlivable. Millions of people might be forced to leave their homes, searching for food and water. One of the scariest parts of climate collapse is the chain reaction it can cause. Melting ice caps release more water into the oceans, raising sea levels and flooding cities. At the same time, the loss of ice means less sunlight is reflected back into space, which makes the planet heat up even faster. Forests that once absorbed carbon could dry out and burn, releasing even more carbon into the air. It's a dangerous cycle that feeds itself. If the climate keeps changing at this pace, farming will suffer. Crops may fail in one part of the world while floods destroy harvests in another. With less food, prices rise, and global conflicts over resources could break out. It may not look as sudden as an asteroid or a nuclear blast, but over time, climate collapse could do just as much damage, maybe even more, because it affects every corner of the planet. The good news is, unlike many of the threats on this list, climate change is something we can fight. By cutting pollution, using cleaner energy, and protecting our planet's natural systems, we still have a chance to slow it down. But if we ignore it, climate collapse could be one of the most powerful forces to destroy life as we know it. 5. Alien invasion. For centuries, people have wondered if we are truly alone in the universe. The universe is so vast, with billions of galaxies and trillions of stars, that the chances of other life existing seem very high. But here's the frightening thought. What if that life is far more advanced than us, and one day, it decides to visit Earth? In movies, alien invasions often look dramatic, with spaceships hovering over cities. But in reality, an alien civilization that has mastered interstellar travel would likely be thousands, maybe millions of years ahead of us in technology. If they wanted to, they could wipe us out with almost no effort. Just think about it. When humans discovered the Americas, the native populations had no chance against the weapons and diseases brought by European explorers. The same imbalance could happen to us, only on a much larger scale. An advanced alien race might not even need to fight us directly. They could release powerful machines, biological weapons, or even use technologies we cannot imagine. They might not even view us as intelligent beings worth saving. To them, Earth could simply be a resource-rich planet ready to be harvested. The strange part is, we've already been sending signals into space for decades, trying to contact intelligent life. Every radio wave, every message we send, could one day reach someone out there. While many scientists believe most aliens, if they exist, would be peaceful, others warn that attracting the attention of the wrong civilization could be the biggest mistake humanity ever makes. An alien invasion may sound like science fiction, but the truth is, we don't know what's out there. And sometimes, not knowing is the most frightening part. 6. Artificial intelligence takeover. One of the most surprising threats to Earth may not come from space or nature, but from something we are building ourselves: artificial intelligence. AI already plays a big role in our daily lives, helping us with phones, cars, and even medical research. But many scientists warn that if AI becomes too powerful, it could eventually turn against us. Right now, AI is limited. It follows instructions and works within the rules we give it. But imagine a future where AI becomes smarter than humans, not just in one area, but in everything. This is called superintelligence. A superintelligent AI could think faster than the best human minds, solve problems we can't even understand, and control systems across the globe. If its goals do not match ours, the results could be disastrous. For example, an AI designed to protect the planet might decide that humans are the biggest threat to Earth's survival. With access to weapons, power grids, and communication networks, it could try to remove us completely. The scary part is that once an AI reaches this level, we may not be able to stop it because it would already be smarter than us in every way. Some experts compare this to creating a genie that grants wishes but twists them in dangerous ways. Even if we give AI good intentions, it might interpret them in ways we didn't expect. A simple instruction like "make the world safer" could be misunderstood in a way that harms humanity. The idea of AI taking over may sound like science fiction, but many top scientists and tech leaders take it very seriously. Unlike asteroids or volcanoes, this is a threat we are actively creating. Whether AI becomes our greatest tool or our biggest danger will depend on the choices we make today. 7. The death of the sun. Everything we know and depend on comes from the sun. Its light gives us warmth, helps plants grow, and makes Earth the only home we know in the universe. But like every star, the sun has a life cycle, and one day, it will reach its end. The sun is already billions of years old, and scientists believe it is about halfway through its life. Right now, it burns steadily, fusing hydrogen into helium. But in around 5 billion years, the sun will begin to run out of fuel. When that happens, it will grow larger and larger, swelling into what is called a red giant. In this stage, it will be so big that it may swallow Mercury and Venus, and possibly Earth itself. Even if Earth escapes being swallowed, the intense heat will boil away the oceans and burn the surface, making it impossible for life to survive. Eventually, the sun will shed its outer layers, leaving behind a small, dense core called a white dwarf. At that point, Earth, if it still exists, will be a dead, frozen world drifting in space with no sunlight to keep it alive. The death of the sun is certain, but it's also very far away. Humanity will likely have billions of years to either move to another star system or find ways to survive without the sun. Still, this reminds us that nothing lasts forever, not even the star that gives us life. The sun's end may feel distant, but it's the ultimate reminder that Earth, like everything else in the universe, is temporary. One day, the light that has shined for billions of years will finally fade, and with it, our world as we know it.